I'd now like to call upon Ashley and Avery Miller and Cody Reed to introduce our next speaker.
If there was one thing I could always count on, it was my little brother. I could count on him to annoy me, to pick on me, to beat me up, and to drive me crazy. But I could also count on him to stick up for me, be there for me, and always make me laugh.
I've always looked up to my older brother, mostly because he's so tall. You know you're too tall when you have to duck walking through any door, or when you are closer to the ceiling fan than you are to the floor, and when you're never too short to ride any rides at the amusement park.
Kayle's always been my goofy friend, which made him the perfect wingman, from his crazy shirts to his gorilla walk and his random saying to his cheesy jokes. There's never been a dull moment with him around.
Join us in welcoming for his retiring address titled I See Fire, my little brother,
My older brother,
my best friend,
and your District 3 President, State Vice President, Kayle Miller.
It's gonna need a spark to ignite. My songs know what you did in the dark. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire.
This world was built on fire. It has evolved into an essential part of our everyday life. Fire needs three things in order to survive: fuel, air, and ignition. Without fuel, our life will have no power or intensity. Without air, our life will suffocate. And without ignition, our life will never start. FFA members, we are like fire. In order to succeed, we also need three things: fuel, F. F is your friends and family. Without your friends and family to fill your tank, life will have no intensity. Air, A. A is your attitude. Without the proper attitude, it can feel like you are suffocating. You are out of air. The last thing fire needs is the most important: ignition. I represents your inspiration. Without the proper inspiration, in order to ignite your flame, you must find that inspiration, or there will be no fire. My fire is fueled by my friends and family. Growing up, I was the third of four very competitive siblings. But my older sister, Ashley, who was only 2 years older than me, was by far my toughest competitor. We would race to see who was the fastest, who could eat the most, and who could hold their breath the longest. We always fought over who was taller. I obviously won that one. I learned how to ride a bike before her, but she got her driver's license before me. I remember that day Dad brought home that beautiful truck. It was a four-door, long bed, Ford F-350, 7.3-liter Power Stroke diesel. Woo! It had 2 fuel tanks. So Ashley had the front tank, and I had the rear tank. Or so I thought. It seemed every time I wanted to drive my truck, my tank was always empty. Odd, right? We fought so much that the thought of her leaving for college made me happy. That day couldn't come fast enough. As I got older, I kind of realized I would kind of miss her. Ashley always seemed to be busy with college or FFA. You see, Ashley was the first of us kids to get really involved in FFA. And when she ran for state secretary and won, I was impressed. Ashley began to fuel me more and more. She made me want more out of life and FFA. I began to grow and mature. And realize the important things in life. 2 years later, Ashley fueled me to run for state office. Later that summer, Ashley broke the news to us that she was moving to North Dakota. I was full of mixed emotions, some sad, some happy, but more than anything, a little angry. How could she leave me? I still needed her. I mean, I had only just begun my journey as a state officer. I guess it didn't hit me till later. I realized I would really miss her. I remember walking into her room, lying on her bed, and talking with her as she finished packing. I remember her telling me that she was only a phone call away and that I had to look after my little brother and teach him the things just as she taught me. As she said those words, I began to cry. We both sat there sobbing and sang our goodbyes. Ashley was my fuel, but when she left, I felt even closer to her than before. And like the tank on my truck, wasn't the only thing full in my life. My friends and family fuel me with encouragement. They fuel me to make the most out of life and decisions. They fuel me to be my best. But more importantly, they fuel me to take each day one day at a time and make the most out of each day. Fuel, friends and family. The second thing that fire needs to survive is air. Air. A. A is your attitude. Without the proper attitude, it can feel like you are suffocating. You are out of air. Take a moment and close your eyes. Imagine yourself waking up on a Monday morning and looking at your alarm clock. You overslept! Wait, it's Monday, right? You jump out of bed, rushing to get ready. There's no hot water, no clean clothes, no milk for your cereal. You get stuck in traffic, and to top it off, you forgot your homework. Can this day get any worse? Open your eyes. How do you feel? Are you frustrated? As the day goes on, it continues to get worse and worse till you finally get home and your mom asks you, "How was your day?" Mom, leave me alone. I had the worst day and I don't want to talk about it. The bad day causes you to have a bad attitude. The bad attitude causes you to lash out at others. Certain situations in life can cause us to have a bad attitude, but it's how we react to those situations is what determines the outcome. So don't let your attitude control you. You should control your attitude. If there's one thing I've learned is that situations are 10% what happens and 90% how you react. Your attitude, good or bad, can affect the outcome of a situation. So don't let your attitude control you. You should control your attitude, and then you'll control the outcome. The last thing fire needs to survive is ignition. I represent your inspiration. Without that spark of inspiration, your fire cannot exist. Inspiration gets you fired up. For some people, it can be hard to recognize, but for me, it came easy. For those of you who know me, know that I live, breathe, and sleep welding. I love it. It is my addiction. When I'm not welding, I'm thinking about welding. And when I fall asleep at night, I see molten weld pools solidifying. I love it. I just can't get enough. I want to be the best. But I didn't always love welding. In fact, I didn't even know what welding was until high school and FFA. Then I met a few welding teachers. They taught me more about welding, not just what it was, but how important it is, where you would use the different types of welding in the different industries, why you would weld different ways and positions, how different conditions can affect the parts or the welds. They taught me that welding was more than just joining two pieces of metal. It is an art and a science. I began to really enjoy it. I started noticing this look in my eyes. It was the same look that those ag teachers and welding instructors had. It was the look of passion. And it was that look that inspired me to try so hard. Without that spark of inspiration, I don't think I would have succeeded. What's your inspiration? What do you love to do because of that? That's your ignition. Fuel air, and ignition. The three components of our fire. Without all these components, our fire cannot exist. Without your friends and family, your fire cannot burn bright. Without air, your fire suffocates. It cannot be sustained. And without its inspiration, your fire can never start. So I challenge all of us. To keep your friends and family close and make sure that they always know that you are there for them. When you're having a bad day, check your attitude. Don't suffocate yourself. Inspire others by the way you've been inspired. Lead by example. I have seen what FFA members are capable of. We are the future, and it's time to start our fire. All you need is the proper fuel, air, and that spark of inspiration to start your fire. Start your fire.
I see fire inside the mountains. I see fire burning the trees. I see fire hollowing souls. I see fire blood in the breeze. I see fire. Oh, we know it's so city burning out, and I see fire. Feel the heat upon my skin, and I see fire. And I see fire burn over on the mountainside.
Kayle. Throughout this year, me and you have had about the same vantage point, so I just wanted to share with you some things that you might have missed. So you talk about welding is joining two pieces of metal together. You know, not necessarily those words, but I just wanted you to know that you are definitely an important weld that holds our team together. From your incredible taste in music to your inadvertent ability to play hide and go seek, I just wanted you to know that you have definitely helped start our fire for this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, your District 3 President, State Vice President, Kayle Don Miller.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for always being there for me, loving me as much as you did. Thank you for all of the childhood spankings when I was wrong and the praise when I had done right. You never forced me to become someone I was not. Stan, thank you for teaching me that a good work ethic and taking off your hat was a must. Grandma Leslie, thank you for all your hard work and dedication. You are my achievement coach, financial and academic advisor, and my master chef. Thank you for always speaking your mind and for having such a big heart. Naomi, Ashley, and Avery, thank you for showing me that being ugly ain't so bad and reminding me that I picked the worst movies. We will always be siblings. Thank you for making me into the man I am today. Ladies and gentlemen, my parents, William Don Miller and Stan and Kathy Beck.